Making its debut in the credit sequence to Volume 3, Divide is about Salem wanting to break down and divide all Ozpin has built and rallied together.
Does it feel good knowing you tried, knowing that all that remains is the slow, cold, brutal death of the fullest of a long-dying pain?
A lot of this song, as you'll come to listen, is Salem taunting Ozpin, making fun of his attempts and everything that he's done, as Salem likes to proclaim victory. You tried, I won, all that's left now is for you to die and all your naive followers of yours to die for a cause they're not even aware of.
How does it feel knowing your efforts will fail? All that you built will be torn down, the hope of your people is sailed.
This verse seems to be possibly talking about the events after the fall of Beacon. Ozpin worked hard and long to build up the schools for a purpose, but just like that, it's fallen. The curtain has been pulled back, and the people's hope all around the world have been attacked. The civilians are all getting a look at what's really going on behind the scenes. All your efforts that you've implemented will fall, and Beacon was only the beginning. Ozpin may have built up these schools to train people to become guardians, but it doesn't matter to Salem. She's more than confident that, like all times before, Ozpin will fail and the people who follow him will go as well. When she's referring to legends and heroes, this is likely a reference to both Team RWBY and Juniper, since the inspiration for these characters are legends and considered heroes. Joan of Arc, Thor, Mulan, Achilles, Goldilocks, Snow White, and so on. A creative way for the lyrics to draw comparisons between all the characters, really. One of the most threatening things Salem seems to find is when people all band together. When concentrated on a single task, the inhabitants of Remnant can prove to be a threat. But Salem's strategy to counteract Ozpin is to fill them all with doubt. When life is as simple as Ozpin is good and Salem is bad, people can find it easy to pick which side of the fence to be on. But when the area gets gray, people begin to doubt what they thought they knew. Sure, Salem can still easily be seen as the big evil, but if she can turn heads onto Ozpin, it becomes a lot harder to rally everyone behind you. If they learned you've sacrificed people, you've lived longer than any of them, trust is a lot harder to come by, and Salem wants to muddy the water and divide them all. One spark can ignite the hopes of many. That's what Ozpin tries to do when someone is downed and saddened over, say, a death. Ozpin ignites them up, trying to get them to not let it consume who they are. Or if they're simply in doubt, he'll provide them with reassurance. The spark can be applied to anyone, really. RWBY, Jean, anyone who can get people to believe in them and what they are doing. But Salem wishes to snuff out that spark, no matter who may possess it. Salem is saying, you can do whatever you want. Form an army, build up the dreams of the people, take 1,000 years to come up with a plan and plot to take me down. You can do everything you want because the result is all the same. The armies, the huntsmen, the teachers, anyone Ozpin wants to send in to fight against Salem and her forces, he's gonna watch them all die in battle. It doesn't matter what their background is, what their training is, death will come equally for each and every one of them.
It was you who ended their lives, made them to dig their own graves. With your dark, sick, cruel design, convinced them their world could be saved.
Ozpin's role in this series has always been this kind of beacon of hope. He tries to make everyone feel hopeful about the goals they can accomplish. The people of Remnant live in a world with evil and monsters, but Ozpin focuses on the light instead of the dark, and Salem is saying, for that exact reason, they're all gonna die. Ozpin came up with the design and purpose of the schools to fight Salem and the Grimm. Salem is saying the schools didn't need to exist. Ozpin has just made sheep to the slaughter. They enroll, they train, they fight, they die. Rinse and repeat. It was Ozpin's design of these schools to help him deal with his problem. It's almost as if Salem is trying to take the morally higher ground, saying, this war was between you and me, and you dragged these huntsmen of yours into this to die. You find them, you train them to fight in our war, and they'll all die. And everything you have done in your past, you're making everyone else pay for it. These are your sins, and they're dying for it. Do you have no shame? It's as if Salem has her own sense of pride. Everyone in Ozpin's world is up for sacrifice. If he thinks they will be useful for his cause, he will use you. If you die, he'll get a replacement. Salem saying the end is drawing near as she gets closer and closer to obtaining 4 relics. Once that happens, it's game over. Ozpin will regret instilling hope into all these children for it all to come crumbling down on top of him. This verse drags all the important characters that have lived throughout time, not just in the time period we're viewing now. The legends and fairy tales referring to Juniper and Ruby heavily, but as we know, most characters of importance to the show have an inspiration from either legends or fairy tales. Same goes for the maidens in the kingdoms. Salem is saying how they're all caught in this string of lies that you've told them. You made the maidens and dragged them into this. You made the schools and dragged them into this. It's all one big lie that you tell them, that there's hope. Since Ozpin built and planned the schools, which obviously train relatively speaking kids, Salem is stating that Ozpin is just leading them all to their deaths. These children that you train and lie to, you're gonna watch them die, you're gonna watch them bleed. Ozpin is going headfirst into a wall, using their strength to go against Salem instead of a strategy. For a lot of the song, Salem has mostly just been making fun of Ozpin and all of his efforts. But now these verses have become a lot more about her strategy, where she sees what Ozpin is doing as throwing soldiers at her trying to break her down with strength. Salem has a more sneaky strategy to tear down what Ozpin has built up, and that's get rid of the trust his students have. All it takes is a mere statement about someone that is both shady and true enough to get their trust to shift. The hope you once gave them will turn to anger and lies. But with Ozpin's strategy, others will have hope and be on his side. So now you have those who trust Ozpin going against those who don't. His students will turn on each other, and it's all because of the lies that he's told them that all Salem has to simply do is give them a bit of the truth. Salem has been alive long enough to already know the pattern. First, it's the trust and hope you instill into them. Then, over time, the truth comes out. The lies you've told, the people you've sacrificed, they begin to become suspicious of your actions as to whether or not you really are the good guy. This suspicion becomes hatred because chances are you've gotten someone close to this person killed. And finally, their allegiance to you dies. The teams Ozpin makes builds friends, and when one of them begins to defect, the friendship tends to die and cause grief, and inevitably, the Grimm soon after. Salem seems to be taking a lot of enjoyment over the idea of Ozpin losing once again. It'll be sweet when you get what you've earned. Even Salem is trying to guilt Ozpin with everything that he's done. What seems like started out as a feud between only Ozpin and Salem only grew because of Ozpin. You make 4 maidens from your powers and drag them into this fight. But not only them, because when they die, their power will go to someone else, dragging them into this as well. Your reincarnations, that's the 5th person you've roped into our feud. You went on to build the schools and make huntsmen, dragging hundreds of thousands of people into this as well. And Salem, weirdly enough, can't wait to see Ozpin getting what he deserves. It doesn't seem like Salem is taking the higher road, saying, I'm better than you, or I'm the good guy. All this song really seemed to be is Salem saying, I'm not the good guy, but at least I don't pretend to be. Salem will divide the students with doubt and suspicion, tearing down what Ozpin has tried to build up. Unlike some of the other songs, I feel 100% safe in saying this song is about Salem and Ozpin. So that was the breakdown and meaning of Divide. What do you guys think of the song? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're interested in more content like this, follow me on all social medias, and I'll see you in the next video.